This is the new intro, guys. I'm gonna do half the song, and then they're gonna take me back out and put the intro back in. This is the logo over here. They don't want to play the logo. They don't want to play the intro. They don't want to play it, guys. We're having technical difficulty. It was the squalls. I blame it on the squalls. What the hell is a squall, guys? Squalls are chaos, okay? I had to swim to work today. I had to swim to get out of my garage. It was nuts. Is any of you guys had to go outside? It was wild. I don't know. I've never seen that in my life. Anyway, welcome to Entertainment 411. I'm your host. I'm dry now. I'm Freedy as Danny. What up? Woo! We're here in my house because I can't afford a studio. This is a mic. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. I'm crazy today. I'm sorry. Guys, welcome to Entertainment 411. We're here live with another special guest. We had Dan Aykroyd earlier. I hope you guys caught that. If you haven't, you can tune in later on. We're going to post that video. But we have now a special casting director all the way out from Montreal, Quebec, who does video games, short films, feature films, television, well-renowned, is on the up and ups. And this is the time to ask her questions because casting directors always have some very good tidbits for us actors, especially the ones who are trying to break into the industry. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our studio, Jessica Greenberg. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you tell I'm a very energetic host?
Not at all.
Okay, great, because I'm not. No, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm excited to share the day with Dan Aykroyd also.
Yeah, I mean, big shoes to share, but I think yours are bigger. No, it was a great time. He was very sweet, really nice dude. So, you've never been on our show before. I'm going to tell you how it works. We really we did this during the pandemic a long time ago, and what it did was it kind of gave us something to do and not go nuts while we were isolated, but it gave like an inside and the face and a face to the name, essentially an inside view of like the casting directors in our country, because we see the names, we see them on the breakdowns, and actors are like, oh shit, and what it does is it kind of, it grounds everybody. We realize, Jess Greenberg has hobbies. Jess Greenberg has things that she likes to do. She eats, she breathes, she's a human. And it kind of takes the fear away from the actors. So, I think that is the main goal of our show. And thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
So while you guys are here, I want to mention real quick, we have a hashtag contest. It is hashtag Greenberg Casting for a chance to win a one-on-one with Jessica Greenberg, some training, some help, some how not to's, and how-tos, all of that good stuff. So if you enter that hashtag during the show, you will be entered to win. If you're in the Montreal area, probably a good idea. If you're not, make sure you have that planned because, she's not going to come to you.
Yeah.
So without further ado, why don't we start the show off, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Roll the intro, Evan. I'm joking. No, we don't want that. Here we go. First question. What was your journey to becoming a casting director?
Great question. So my journey is I always knew I wanted to work in the industry. I just didn't really know what that meant in CEGEP. In Montreal, we have CEGEP. It's the 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. And so pretty much my goal was just to start working. So I studied human relations at Concordia. And during my time at Concordia, I got a job in production as a PA on a kids TV show and loved it. I loved the pace of it and the crazy schedule, all those things. And pretty much sort of snowballed from there, went to coordinator, got another job as a coordinator. And within that job they were like, oh yeah, we need like a little casting. We're doing reenactment. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll give it a shot. And that's what I did, sort of self-taught, a lot of support from the other staff and crew and agents also. And then I realized, okay, like I really like this. And I decided to stick in casting and sort of give up the production coordinating stuff.
Right.
And sort of was self-taught for many years working in-house for that production company. And then I went off on my own, had some other types of projects, worked on other types of projects. And yeah, here we are. Then during the pandemic, I started working a lot with Rosina Bucci of Elite Casting, and we're working together today, and it's been great.
Yeah, every time I'm gonna say this, and I say this every time. Every time I talk to a casting director about their journey, it's never. I went to casting director school for 4 years. No, it's never that. It's always some pathway towards that. It's either they were in production, they were directing, they were acting. The only ones that seem to have a cohesive story are the ones that worked at CBC for a while, like the Jason Knights and the Robin Cooks.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's always been something juxtaposed to casting, to casting that's gotten to that place. So,
Yeah.
never had human resources yet, so that's a good one. I mean, I think it's a good combination. You've got to know people, and casting, you got to know people. So there you go.
Exactly.
If you're just joining us, guys, you're seeing that little ticker there. It's Greenberg Casting for a chance to win a one-on-one session. We already got a bunch of entries. Thanks, guys, for entering so far. Look at all you. Look at all you. Lovely. Moving on to question number 2. Casting. What do you love about casting, Jessica?
What do I love? I mean, I love that like every project is different, and we're sort of presented with different challenges at every project. If it's budget, if it's the demographics, location, even now, it becomes a challenge. So I love that. I love the creative side. And I also love that casting, you're dealing with both sides. There's also the whole business side when you're, booking leads or bigger roles, and the negotiations and speaking with agents and just relationships all around with actors, veterans, and newbies, and everybody. Like the community is great. I love
Since
it.
the pandemic, it's changed a lot. What do you love and hate about the change? Like, do you like that there is now, self-tapes most of the time for the sake of your job? Do you miss people coming in the room? Is there a pro and con? I've heard both. What's your take?
Yeah. Overall, I think it's better I think it gives more actors more opportunities to self-tape, because I had a callback session today, and it's sort of like it takes your whole day, so it's the whole day where you can't be in front of your emails, you can't be doing stuff, versus self-tapes. It gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of your hours of like when you could watch all those things, and then you're not like abandoning your emails.
Right.
So I think that's good. We could see more people, so actors actually have more opportunity, and yeah, I think it's great. And I do miss the personal connection, but that's why I like doing things like this. I like sort of being present on social media, because often, I feel a bit like a creep when I go to these like actor mixer events, and I'm like, I know all of your faces, I watch all of your tapes, I know exactly who you are, and you have no clue who I am. So
right. And that's why we're doing this show, because no one knows who these guys are. Like,
yeah. So hey, it's me. I watch your tapes. I watch your auditions, and yeah. So that's the only downfall. But I think if we could have a nice mix of in-person callbacks and chemistry reads, then it's sort of a nice balance of the two. And then
yeah. See, I like that. I like that idea. I think that always, like, my idea was, in a perfect world, initial auditions are taped, and then the bigger callbacks are in person, or even if it's on Zoom. I find there's a nice balance when it's on Zoom, because like this, we don't. If I was to audition for you, you wouldn't know my personality if it was just a self tape. You would know that there's some bubble or fun. They're just like, oh, she did it one way. So that's personally, as an actor, that's what I miss in the rooms. But I know some casting directors are doing Zooms, which work just as well, because you're still able to resonate through the camera.
Yeah.
But there is something about being in the room that is scary and nice for a lot of people.
For sure. And I also think, though, that like a lot of people have gotten used to the flexibility in their schedule, that like oh, can you come to an audition at like 2:08 p.m. and like,
That's usually going
people
to be
have
late.
jobs now, and so it's tough.
Yeah,
So I think it is better overall for everybody.
for sure. That's a great segue to the next question. Um, what advice would you give to aspiring actors? I know it's a loaded question, but maybe those who are breaking out, those who haven't seen you as yet, they haven't gotten in front of you. What are some tips and tricks to get in front of you, and then once they get that opportunity, what does a good audition look like, whether it be tape or in person?
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. So where to begin? What is advice to aspiring actors? I think like it's really important to network and to
Yeah,
get out there and go to classes, take classes, push yourself maybe into more advanced ones so that you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people and people who maybe have more experience. I think that's very important, is to network.
yeah.
Um, I don't know about Toronto, but Actor Montreal has like great mixers, and I think that's a great place also to meet people.
Mhm.
Um, and then the next question was like advice for auditions and stuff.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. Toronto's been like that. It's slowly
yeah.
slowed down again since the pandemic. Things have just budget. Everyone's just like, we don't have to spend this money in this anymore. But I say it's for the worst. I do miss it. Now, if someone hasn't seen you before, how do they get in front of you? It's obviously not going to message you on Instagram, but it's like, what can their agent do to say, hey, so and so, you haven't seen this person. She is good at this. They're good at this. What's the best way to get in front of you?
Well, I think in general, like the best way is really like to keep an eye out on breakdowns and different roles, and really like if you feel passionate about a certain role that you feel that you would be great for, like have your agent push you for that. Be like, hey, they have an updated demo. Take a look. We think they'd be great. It's really hard, to just get an email out of the blue. Be like, hey, this is me. Like, here's my
Right,
demo. When I'm not like, if you say, hey, I would like to read for this role, I really
right.
feel strongly about it. Okay, you have my attention. I'll take a look. But if it's just like a out of the blue email, admittedly, it's hard to sort of keep track of those things. And, but that's why if I go to these mixers and meet people in person and make that connection, then it's easier to remember and go from there.
Right. Keep it specific, essentially. Don't just
Yeah.
cold email say, "Hey, I'm looking for something to do." More like keep it very specific.
And
Copy
if you do that, like make sure you're actually attaching a photo, a resume, a
that.
demo. I get emails being like, "Hey, I'm a new actor, like would love to meet you." And it's like I don't have any.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Banana man 35 at hotmail.com. I don't know who you are. Also, if that's your email you're sending to casting directors, don't do that. Guys, if you're joining us right now, we are joined with Montreal-based casting director Jessica Greenberg. There is a contest. There's a banner on the screen. A lot of you folks are entering. Well done, well done. Thank you for entering, guys. It is hashtag Greenberg Casting for your chance for a one-on-one opportunity with Jessica Greenberg. If you're based in Montreal, great idea because you're close. If you're not, hey, make the trip. It's worth it.
We can do it via Zoom.
You could do it via Zoom too, but if you have the chance in person, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's better.
I'm whispering.
There's a great donut shop in the building in my office, so
Ooh, what's a donut shop?
it's called Leche Donuts.
Ooh, I've heard of that one. There was like a pop-up that just came here. It is I'm a big espresso snob. It was a coffee shop. It's
Olympico.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a pop up right downstairs in my building, and I love espresso. But the espresso in Toronto is like that weird hipster, like we like everything bitter, and it's
Yeah.
not really espresso. It's like the guy's like pressing it too much, and you're like, why is that? Why are you setting my coffee on fire? Yeah, I'm sorry. We can go on about coffee. I'm a huge coffee aficionado. Guys, so yes, we're joined with Jessica Greenberg. We're talking about coffee. We're talking about Montreal. If you have any questions, please pop it in on Facebook or on Instagram. We will see them and we will ask them live while we have Jessica here. We have one more question before the break, and it's based on what we talked about earlier. When someone does get that audition, they get in front of you. They're like, all right, here we are. We're here. All right, we're auditioning for blank. Boom. What is the biggest mistake that performers make when they're auditioning in person or via self-tape?
Maybe like I guess it's a weird balance of like you don't want them to overthink it, but
Right.
I also want you to do your research and
Right.
be prepared. So it's a tough balance, but yeah, like I think if it's a recurring, you're going in for a role on a TV series that exists already, do your research. Who's the director? What's their style? Like, do the research.
Yeah.
The information is available to you. If you have questions, ask them. I don't know. Like it's
No,
and
those are good points.
yeah, and
Like if
also
it's
I should
Hallmark,
say, yeah. Sorry, go. If
if
it's
it-
Hallmark, yes,
the
there's a
network, yeah.
specific style. Um, if you see the director, what have they done before? You know, um,
Yeah.
all that stuff, and also like to add to that too is I think I spoke about this on my podcast before, but like generally there's no massive mistakes people are making. Like
Right.
you guys are quite good, and it really comes down to like what is the role and are you right for it or not. There's no like crazy big
Right.
like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. Like it
Yes.
just doesn't happen. So like just like chill, and do good work and that's it.
So here's my thought on that, because this is where it gets hard. What I miss, especially going back to the whole self-tape versus in person, is the direction, the feedback, right? So what can an actor do? Let's say there's a tape for a Hallmark movie, and it is male, brown, 30s to 40s, and I do an audition tape, but it's my interpretation of it. And you
Yeah.
say, okay, this guy's a good actor, but if only he did it this way to give that director that tone that they were looking for. What can an actor do? And I have the answer for this, but I want to hear what your answer is. If they're not able to get that direction, that feedback, what are some things they can do in order to have a better shot at showing their versatility?
Well, I guess like depending on what the project is and what your self-tape instructions are, if you're allowed to send in two versions, like two takes,
Yeah.
do one how you think, you know, they'll want it, like in terms of style, and then you could send one that like is your interpretation completely maybe a bit off beat, where we could see your range,
Mhm.
and maybe that's not how they would go, but like they could see a bit more of you.
Right.
That is something. And I think like also like improv classes helps like a lot with that, with like intuition and helping you to like give yourself that direction. Be like, okay, how else can I, read
Yeah.
this, or how can I interpret this or whatever. So
That's what I was going to say. I usually send two takes, and either my agent sends both or not. But at least this way, you could show some range and give the casting crew something to play with.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're with Jessica Greenberg at Greenberg Casting. We have a hashtag Greenberg Casting contest for a chance to win a one-on-one session with Jessica Greenberg right here. There's a foliage behind her. She's got a nice wall. She's there. She's ready to help you guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break from our sponsors, and then we're going to be right back with some more questions with Jessica. Stay tuned. Here is the commercial. I don't know why I did that. Play it, Evan.
I'm going to be a good director who gives you good notes. I'm going to be a bad director who gives you lousy notes.
My Tribe Studio. A versatile space for your projects. A space to find your tribe.
Welcome back. I sat down there just in the nick of time. It's almost like I knew what was happening. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a sponsored video from My Tribe Media. My Tribe Media is a acting group.
Uh-oh. I'm live here alone. Hi, everybody.
Based out of Vancouver. A lot of technical difficulties there, guys. Based out of Vancouver. So please make sure you guys check out My Tribe. They've been sponsoring us for a long time and are great friends of ours. Uh-oh, said Harry. Harry, I'm back. It's all good, bro. That was just a little little drama there for you. Don't worry. I'm gonna do a little switcheroo here and ask some questions from the viewers just because they are here. Craig Weiss. Oh, Craig, I always say your last name. It's so easy, but I always say it wrong. Craig Wise.
Weiss.
Craig Weiss?
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Craig, what's up, buddy? Welcome back. Is there a genre of film and TV that you particularly enjoy doing the casting for? And if there is a genre you haven't done, but you'd love to do, which one would that be?
I mean, I'm just a fan of comedy in general. So I would love to work on more comedy and specifically like cast an ensemble in a comedy series.
Nice. I'd like that too. I would love to audition for that.
Yeah.
And it is Craig Weiss. He's like Weiss. As if you could have said like rice, because Weiss isn't a word. Like rice. Like, Craig, what are you talking about, bro?
Or like lice. Or mice.
Yeah, pick the one. But Weiss, that makes you're saying it how it's spelled. I get it. I caught you.
Yeah,
Like
that's
Weiss.
great.
Likewise. Likewise. You're saying likewise. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next question, Jessica. Here's a good one. It's about demo reels and how important is it for talent to have a demo reel? Now, it's obviously a tricky question. Answer this in two ways, because there are people who can have the footage for a demo reel and those who are just building up for a demo reel.
Yeah.
So how important is it for those two levels of actors?
It's like so important. Don't talk to me if you don't have one. I'm kidding. It's great. You know, if you have the material to make one, do it. It helps. Anything helps. But we also understand that everyone starts somewhere, and it's really not a deal breaker if you don't have one. If you could get clips from the latest show that you were on and send that as additional material, that's great. The one thing I would just say is don't put like scenes from acting class in your demo reel. Like, one is a professional demo reel with professional projects you were on. The other is, you could have a scene that you're proud of on your like casting workbook profile, but don't put that in your demo with the others like produced projects.
Right. My question that I've always asked casting directors, and they always think I mean directly to their demo, but I mean as an internal piece of sampling. What's your thoughts on from someone who does, 2 auditions in front of a wall, puts it together as a sort of sample reel of their skill set, and has that as a internal tool for you guys to see? Obviously, you wouldn't be sending it out to directors or clients. What are your thoughts on something like that, especially for those who haven't been seen by you as yet?
Yeah, I think if it's great and you're proud of it, put it up, because like it's, especially if like, we're still trying to be selective in who we're going to ask to self-tape, and if someone has a video and I could see your movement and see a little bit of you, your energy, whatever, to me, it helps, like, okay, I could see what they could do here. It sort of humanizes you too at a certain point. It's not just like a resume and a headshot. So we get to see a little bit more of you, and like, why not? So.
Yeah. Jessica, you're doing a great job so far, must I say. This has been a fantastic show. We're getting a lot of interaction questions, and people are engaged. Here's one from Petra. Are you kidding me with the last names? Petra Watzlawickli. Petra, please phonetically spell that for me. Petra Watzlawickli. Is that? And also, it's a very cool name.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the origin of that last name specifically. It seems like it's Polish. And thank you, Petra. It seems like it's Polish mixed with something else as well. Technical question. Some casting directors want all take scene slates in the same clip, and some want them separate. What do you prefer?
What do I prefer? I prefer generally in separate clips. And I'll tell you why. But also important, read the directions, because every project is different. Right. And every producer, especially if we're casting for something in the US and we're going to have to upload stuff to their platform, like, so we may ask for different things. So it's not always just what I want. It's also what I'll need to deliver at the end of the day. But generally, I like all separate clips, because we get to then sort of decide which scene take we want to present first.
Right.
Sometimes we want to put the slate at the end, and we get to sort of manage that if they're all separate clips and
Right.
present you how we feel is the best way possible.
Also,
On the same team here.
name your clips. Fareed Yazdani, part show 1. Slate. What?
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's going to be looking at MP3 6439 and it'll get lost and it's your fault.
Or also what I realized the other day too is sometimes a lot of people record on their iPhone. So it's image 6772. And then I could sort of tell how many takes you've done because I get 6772 and then 6998. And you're like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
you don't understand. You don't understand, Jessica. We are neurotic. It's always the first one that's right. I've learned to do like 3 or 4, but it's like I've gotten myself caught in a loop a couple times, especially if you want it to be perfect, which, as you said, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Trust your gut, trust your instincts, guys. It's usually the first or second take is the one that you did, unless you said all the lines wrong. Then here's a question that I like. It's an interesting one. In your opinion, how important is it for an actor to be on a top agency?
I think what's more important is to have an agent that you have a good relationship with.
Well said.
That is very important. And also, like, don't make it an excuse, like, relationship with, like, know your role, know your spot where you are in your journey of being an actor, and like, don't blame it on the agency you're with if you're not getting booked. You know what I mean? So, like, of course, is it nice to be with a great agency? Sure. But what's better is an agent that will push for you and believes in you, and a good relationship with that person. And also for you to just do great work, because at the end of the day, that's what we'll see.
Right.
And the more you work, just, then maybe you'll have better chances of having options of different agents, but I don't think it's the most important thing. I think your work at the end of the day is the most important, and a good relationship with your agent. Whatever.
Agreed.
Agreed.
That's a great point. That's well said. A little public service announcement, guys. If you are entering the hashtag Greenberg casting contest, I've just realized if you're on Instagram, we're not able to see your comments on our live feed. It's a technical thing that we've been having issues with. So please, if you have Facebook, go on Facebook and enter that way. Ryan Dutch 9 says, "Hi Jess" on Instagram. There he is. Yeah, just I want to share that because we can't share everything live here. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hashtag Greenberg casting chance to have a hashtag session with hashtag Jessica in hashtag Montreal. One-on-one. It's a great opportunity. We're going to ask 2 more questions from the audience, then go to another commercial break, and then wrap it all up. Anas Hassan. Great headshot. Love this one. It's a good one. We've seen it before. He's been here before. Does Quebec Productions ever cast Parisian French-speaking actors, or is it usually Quebecois? Good question.
Great question. And it's really project dependent. I mean, you could have a project that's filming in LA that needs either a Quebecois accent or Parisian accent. Usually French productions are looking, like the French side are looking for Quebecois accents because they're casting in Montreal, like in Quebec. But all to say is work on an all, like a standard American accent. I think that's the most opportunity that way. But obviously, it's great and beautiful that you speak French, and
Very well said. This is also true. I mean, there's going to be a role for everybody out there, I'm sure. And I also like nowadays it's less so. I find it's less abrasive to have an accent. I don't know. I've noticed from a lot of casting, it's kind of part of who people are, and it kind of is what people have in shows nowadays. Some of their natural accents like come out. I do think it's great to be able to mask it the same way how, an actor from England is able to mask their accent and turn into US, but having your natural born accent is also a very nice touch. I personally think so.
Yeah. And that's what's great about having doing your slate. You could, speak in your natural way.
Yeah.
And so we could hear that. And then, but also, it's so dependent on the project. Mainly the ones I work on are just English and standard American or Canadian, but
Guys, this is what I like to see. The chat is taking over the question space. I would love that every time I did an interview, I couldn't even answer my questions because your guys' questions are what's important. So this is fantastic. Caitlin Stewart, great green door. Nice picture. Very well done. Is it a hindrance to an actor's submission for a role when an actor is not an actress? So I think she's asking how difficult is it for a non-union actor to get into an ACTRA audition? And I mean, I know it's difficult, but you could speak on that, Caitlin.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Jessica. Speak on it. Caitlin, go to the show and speak on it. No, Jessica, go ahead.
I mean, it's potentially for like a lead role. It could be harder because we'll question your experience more. If you're not yet union. But again, it depends what we're looking for that specific role. Is it a hindrance? I mean, really, try and get your credit. I think, with the union, you're just more protected and all that stuff. So, obviously, we have to look at union talent before going to non-union. So, on a union project, your opportunities will be smaller. But, when we're looking for something specific, then we're looking for something specific. So it's,
That's a good point. I want to bring this up. It's like, I'm obviously actress, so I'm pro actor, but I'm not pro or con either way. What I will say is those who are looking at becoming ACTRA and you do book a ACTRA gig, know how difficult it was for you to get that credit. When you get your first credit, they actually have to submit a list, casting director to submit a list of a certain amount of union actors that they tried to submit, but you were right for the part. So they have to essentially show ACTRA, hey, we looked at your people. This is the person we like. Would you like to make them union? So keep that in mind every time you guys are auditioning. And if you do book an ACTRA part, don't let that credit slip if you think you're going to be able to get it again quickly. It's not as easy as you think. With that, hashtag Greenberg Casting. You guys are entering. It's great. They're coming in like every 5 seconds. Look at this. Misha, Anas is entering. It's great. We're going to take another commercial break and we're going to be right back. We're going to wrap it up. We have a few more questions from the audience. I think that's where we're going to end it. Maybe ask one more of our own. And then reveal who the winner is. So we'll be right back from this show. And guys, this is a very special commercial. This is a project I've been working on. I always preach to you guys, please be sure to create your own work. This is something that I've done and I've tried to do. It's not easy. I hope you guys enjoy. This is a show that's going to be coming out very shortly online. And I had some help with amazing, talented co-stars and friends. It is right there behind me. Day players, check it out.
You are a born protagonist. Look at you. You're a failed professional.
Okay, I wouldn't say failed.
You're a finding bastion of hope in a rundown old school.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It just happens to be shared by the only woman who ever broke your heart.
What did you do?
Shh. Just watch.
I've got a lot of auditions lined up. So many auditions.
I can imagine. I can relate to having so many bookings. It's like a library, just books everywhere.
That's right. You're looking at the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman.
I nailed my audition, bro. They said they'd call me.
Guys, I'm gonna be the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman.
You are looking at the host of
right over here.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of hostility from you right now.
Oh, please mansplain it to me so I can understand it better.
Clearly you don't know what mansplaining is. Let me break it down for you.
He's dead.
Which is the purest, greatest form of theater? Improvisation.
Told you I would eat you! I told you I would eat! Woo! Let's go!
I cannot watch this anymore. This is agony.
that was Day Players. Thank you. Be sure to tune in, guys. It will be coming out soon this year, I promise, in the next couple months. We're working on a release date, so stay tuned for that. Welcome back. We're with Jessica Greenberg of Greenberg Casting. Naturally, we have a contest. You guys are entering. It's great. It's a lot. It's a lot of entries. Thank you for entering. Thank you for entering. Thank you for entering. Thank you for entering. Appreciate it, guys. We're going to keep going with the audience questions because it's been very popular, and I love it. You guys are very engaging, and you guys need to continue because this is what the show's about. So thank you. Giuseppe Calvinisti. Oh, I said that. I'm sure I said that right.
Yeah.
Thanks Reed, for this one. Oh, that's not even a question. You rocked it again, dude. All your info as usual. Great stuff. Thank you, Giuseppe. Thank you for Evan for popping that one up there. Harry Tamakas Perla. Great name, dude. Having amazing agents who support me greatly, I strive to bring my best. I can't read. I strive to bring my best to every opportunity. From your experience, what qualities or approaches do you find most valuable in actors that consistently stand out in an audition? Big question.
Great question. Yeah, I think that being flexible. So like going in prepared or being prepared and knowing your beats, but also be ready for feedback and potentially changing it. And this could be done for, a couple of ways. I just like whether to see how you react to the change on the spot or to see your range or whatever. So I think like flexibility is a great quality and that improv, that skill of like being able to switch things up on the spot.
For sure. Acting is like a muscle. Keep going to the gym, going to classes, keep doing improv stuff, casting workshops, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good question. I kind of understood where we were going when it comes to ethnicities and accents, but Joanna, maybe you can clear this up for Joanna. With castings choosing specific ethnicities for projects, is it a moot point to learn other accents now?
And yes, because I think the more and more the push is for authenticity.
Correct.
So from video games to on screen, it's if they want a British accent, they're gonna try and find a real Brit to do that. So you don't have to have a list of like every dialect.
Right.
You got to just do you, and that's it.
I think what we were speaking to is the one that we all should have as Canadians is the standard.
Oh.
I'm clarifying what we were talking about to Joanna because her question is great. It's a great point to bring up.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about earlier was, the standard American accent is just universal for what we tend to audition for most. It's not that we need to have like, Rhodic and Scandinavian or Trinidadian Cockney. Yeah, it's like, I think more so your natural accent, if you have one coming from where you're from. My point was maybe to just, it's okay to keep it as your natural voice, but to also have the US in your back pocket.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Thank you, Joanna. That's a great point to bring up. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm going to have two more questions. And if there's any more from the audience, and if you have any questions, you should ask them now because we're about to wrap things up, guys. And then we're going to announce our winner. Hashtag Greenberg casting. Jessica, loaded question. Whew. What would you like to see the Canadian entertainment industry do different in order to grow?
We need more funding. We need more, like projects here in Canada. We're so reliant on the US market. When there was the strike with SAG and the Writers Guild, like it affected us here. And we need to be self-reliant. We need to have our own ecosystem of amazing projects, which include we need the funding, we need bigger budgets, and just produce our own stuff because we have such talented writers, actors. Like we could do it all here. We do it all here. We just need the funding for it. So that's what I would love to see.
Canada's biggest exports that isn't measured is the amount of talent that flies over to the US.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things for sure.
Yeah.
Quote me on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Jessica is our last question, and then I'm going to take it to the audience if there's any more. But again, everyone's entering. Hashtag. Jen. Hi, Jess. Great to see you again.
Hi.
Here we go. Question the last. We all have mentors. Who are your mentors and why? And it could be more than one. It could be one. It could be your mom. It could be your dad. Anybody. World's your oyster.
Okay. Well, I'll start off. Rosina is a huge mentor to me. Working with her has been amazing. I definitely had a lot of imposter syndrome, like having been self-taught. So I was like, what do I know? What do I don't know? Are there things I don't know that I don't know? All that stuff. And so working with her has been amazing. She has been doing this for a long time and she does it really well and is very respected. So she's definitely a big mentor to me. And I mean, my family, like, they are, if they're mentors or more inspiration to keep me going. I'm so close to my family and they are the greatest supporters. So
yeah, it's not an easy industry to be in, especially at casting. Yeah, no. So shout out to all the family members who have supported all of us throughout.
Yeah.
Any last minute entries, guys? Now is your chance because we are about to announce the winner. So I'm going to give a countdown. Here's your chance to enter. Last chance. Hashtag Greenberg Casting in 10, 9, 8, 7. Well, I should do the TikTok thing.
Yeah. So you do know the TikTok thing.
Yes, we all know the TikTok thing. This world, I can't.
4, 5, 6,
Yes.
7, 8.
We're just giving people a high five for knowing how to count music. It's not that. It's so weird.
They added a dance. Did you see the dance?
No, is there a dance?
There's a dance now.
You're gonna show us the dance?
No,
Okay,
no. But it's like you go in and out.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's great.
You go in and out. What do you mean?
Like with your knees, like
old man jive.
Like
this, like the old man, like this.
Sort of.
No.
Hands on the
No.
knees. Hands on the knees.
I will never sign up for TikTok knowing this. This is unfortunate. Okay, that was probably 10 seconds. I'm sure, guys, you've all had your chance to enter the contest. Evan, can we bring the rolling machine thingy majigger up on the screen?
Whoa.
Here it is. Yeah, we're high tech here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay. We have 16 entries. Last minute, guys. Any more entries? Any more? Going once, going twice? Evan, hit that draw button, buddy. Here we go. And the winner is hopefully a last name I could pronounce. Probably not though. Anas Hassan. Congratulations, brother. You bring that Parisian accent down to Jessica Greenberg, and she will give you a nice one-on-one session. Appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. My dogs are fighting in the background. I hope you can hear that. It's great. It's great. They're excited for you guys. That is our show. Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Here's the question from Laura that we're going to throw in the last minute because we just had this, but I'm wondering if you offer any more one-on-one coaching services or if any upcoming workshops. Do you?
I can. I don't but I can.
She's requesting, so there you go. Okay. So
So
to be announced, Laura from Jessica Greenberg Casting. Stay tuned. Where can people follow you, Jess? Is there places you are? You're on TikTok, we know.
yeah, I'm on TikTok at Greenberg Casting _ because I forgot my password for at Greenberg Casting.
Of course. Yeah.
So don't forget the _ because that's me.
Right. Any projects in the works that you could talk about that you're excited to mention?
Well, if you're in Montreal, Fantasia Festival is coming this summer, and 2 of the projects I worked on last year-ish are premiering at Fantasia, so that's very cool. Witchboard, directed by Chuck Russell.
Nice.
And The G, directed by Carl Hearn. So those will be amazing, I'm sure. I can't wait to watch. And currently working on Plan B for CBC Season 3.
Nice.
Season 2 will be airing August 11th.
My boy Patrick. I worked with him on Suits. Nice guy. And then randomly worked with him on a commercial right after. It was so strange.
That's so funny. So all to say about this, though, Plan B is an anthology. So
yes,
season, so I haven't or whatever, but yeah. Great.
Nico, it's fine. Okay, you can audition for Plan B. Don't worry. Thank you, Jessica from Joanna. Thank you from Petra. Thank you from Harry. Thank you from Craig Craig Weiss?
Rice.
Like rice. And there we go from Anas, our winner today. He never wins anything. Wow, ha, 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 thanks. Wow, ha, ha, thanks. Anas from tuning in. I'm sure you said that with a lot more conviction than I delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us, Jessica. It was nice to meet you virtually.
You too. Yeah, you too. It was a pleasure.
For sure. And we will see you guys soon. We'll announce our Nico, would you take it easy, bud? We'll see you guys soon on our next show. Take care. That was it for this one. Bye-bye.